Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we are covering the development of the Supersprint exhaust on our F90. If you've been watching our videos before, you know that we've worked with Supersprint quite closely in the past. They have made parts for us, and we've brought our cars to Mantova in northern Italy for them to develop exhaust on before. So the first thing we're going to do is get the F90 M5 on the dyno. Supersprint use a Maha dyno, which is slightly different to our dyno dynamics, but they do read in a quite similar fashion. We will run the car stock, and then Supersprint will have the baseline, and then once they develop the exhaust, we will run the car on the dyno again and see what difference the exhaust makes. So the aim of this project is to release a bit more of the V8 sound from the exhaust. As you guys know, this engine is very similar to the F10 M5, so we don't expect it to sound too different. If you guys don't know about Supersprint, we are going to do a separate video on the company, a bit about their history, and actually take you for a tour around the factory so you can get a feel for what they do. Now I'm going to move out of the way, let the engineers get on with their work so they can make the exhaust in a 2-week time frame, so me and Matt, when we come back, we can actually pick the car up and take it back home.
Brian Little.
While Supersprint are developing the rear exhaust for this car, and by rear I mean from downpipe back, they have already developed 2 parts for the F90 M5, and I'm just going to have a quick look at them now. So they've already developed the downpipes for the F90 M5. Now the stock downpipe is in 2 sections, so it will be from here to here and from here to here, and each section has a cat in it. As you can see, these completely decat the car. They've decided to make it in one piece because it's easier for production, and it also makes it a bit easier to fit. The second part that they have is the exhaust manifold. This was actually made for the F10, but we've looked at the part numbers for the original part between the F10 M5 and also the F90 M5, and they actually are the same, so we pretty much sure that these are going to fit as well. Testing wise, Supersprint are going to test the downpipes with the rear exhaust while we're here. We are going to run out of time to test these on Supersprint's Maha dyno, but we'll fit those and test those when we get back to Evolve. Now these ones we already have fitted to Tommy's Decat Orange F10 M5. Now that's the fastest M5 in the UK at the moment, and it did 213 miles an hour in 1.3 miles at the last VMAX. So we're hoping for pretty good results on the F90 as well. We're back in Supersprint's dyno cell, not because we're actually dyno testing right now, it's because it's really loud out there and this place is soundproofed, so it's a perfect opportunity to talk through the stock exhaust. The prototype is just being fitted to the car. We have currently tested the rear exhaust on its own and then the rear exhaust with the front section, so that's downpipe back. They're fitting the downpipes now, and then we will be able to test the full turbo back exhaust on the dyno and have a look at the results. So the stock system is basically one piece all the way from the downpipes. It has a resonator in the middle here. Now when you spec the sports exhaust, they change the resonator to provide a bit more sound, and then you don't get any more silencing until the back box. So you have three separate silencer boxes here, and you have the valve on the outside. So when the valves are open, you get more of a straight through flow here, which provides a bit more sound. And when the valves are closed, it uses all three of the silencer boxes to reduce the sound and to reduce the drone. Now the Supersprint system basically is working like this diagram. So when the valves are open, it's straight through to give you a loud sound. And when the valves are closed, it goes through into the middle muffler through a special X, which reduces the drone and also provides a more of a V8 sound, and then comes out of the inner tailpipes. With the downpipes installed, the prototype exhaust is now complete, so I'll just talk you through that. The downpipes on the original system are in two pieces. They have two cats, one on the upper section, one on the lower section. so those have been completely deleted on the system. The front pipe is straight through at the moment, but Supersprint will be doing 2 different versions. So one will be unresonated like this, and there will be a resonated one. So I will be running the resonated one when that's ready, especially if I'm running Decat downpipes, because I don't want the system to be too loud. The last piece of the system is the rear muffler, and as you can see, this one only has 1 silencer in the middle compared to the stock one, which had 3, and this has a special X in it to reduce drone and provide a bit more of a V8 sound. And when the valves are closed, it goes through this muffler, and when they're open, it literally comes straight through. So there is a big distinction in sound between when the valves are open and closed. So now it's time to put the car back on the dyno and see what it's doing. I really should have worn ear defenders for that. My ears are ringing. That is so loud with the valves open, and it's almost straight through from the turbos now. Ridiculously loud with the valves open, civil with the valves closed. We have dynoed the car again now, and it's making 622 horsepower. But unfortunately, when we came to Supersprint, we were running RL 102 fuel, and I was hoping that would survive for the whole testing procedure. But in between all the sound checks, we were running low, so we had to put local 97 in. It's the only thing we could get from around here. So unfortunately, the test results aren't exactly what we're expecting, because with the full system, the car's made exactly the same power as before. Now, whether that's the ECU limiting the power, which we have seen on BMWs before, or it's the fuel, what I've decided to do is that we're going to get back to England and we'll run the car on Evolve's dyno stock, and then with the different parts of the exhaust, so we can do our own testing and also provide some V-Box times. So we're back from Supersprint. The M5 was absolutely amazing on the autobahns. We did around 1,000 miles. And in terms of drone and comfort, the exhaust didn't impede on the cabin at all. So it was really no different to when we went out there with the stock exhaust. But obviously when you put your foot down, the sound is very noticeable. When the valves are closed, it's really civilized. When the valves are open, it's just absolutely insane. We're going to dyno this now, but our dyno is not working at the moment. It needs a software update from the guys in Australia. So I don't want to waste any time. So what we're going to do is take the downpipes off the car, V-Box the car, and then go take it to our friends over in Stevenage at Dyno Developments, run it on their dyno, bring the car back, stick the downpipes back on, do some more V-Box testing to show you the V-Box differences before and after the downpipe change, and then run it over to Dyno Developments again and do a dyno so we can actually show you the power difference. With testing complete, we can see that our F90 M5 made 612 horsepower without the Decat downpipes on Dyno Development's Dyno, and then with the Decat downpipes it's made 648, so that's an increase of around 36 horsepower, with much more at the end of the rev range. That's closer to 50 at the end, and a good 20 to 30 foot-pound of torque throughout the rev range past 5,000 RPM. So what does that translate to in the real world? With the V-Box testing complete, pre-Decat, with the Venturi and a full tank of fuel, I managed to do an 8.349 seconds, 60 to 130. And after the Decat had been fitted, I managed to do a 7.921. The only difference between these two runs is the fact that the exhaust has been fitted to the car, and it is 0.428 seconds quicker. So that shows you that the dyno graph kind of reflects the performance in the real world. I'm really impressed at the fact that Decats have made so much difference to the F90 M5, and in all honesty it's similar to what we used to see on the F10, and considering they're very similar engines, it's not that much of a surprise. So we're going to take the car out for a drive and see what the exhaust sounds like in the various modes. At the moment the car is running a configuration where the valves are open, it's straight through from the turbos, so it's catless downpipes, no resonators in the front section, and when the valves are open it bypasses the back box as well, so it's very, very loud. With the valves closed, as I'll demonstrate to you shortly, just get out of here, the exhaust is actually very tame and has a really nice tone to it. So it's really has, when you talk about having a dual sound, it really does have two sounds. One is quite civilized and has a really nice tone to it, and when you open the valves it just gets really aggressive and sounds pretty crazy. So we'll just set off. It's really loud on cold start at the moment as well, so that's when you start the car up in the morning. It's designed to warm the cats up, so it holds the revs a bit higher. So this is valves closed, just cruising along. So with an exhaust, when you have something that's loud, normally it's very frustrating when it drones a lot. Say if you're cruising along on a motorway or on a road at sort of 40-50 miles an hour, you just get that constant drone noise, which gets to you, especially if you've got like family in the car. My kids hate it when the cars are like that. So here I'm like 7th gear, 40 miles an hour, it's like absolutely silent. So the car is also very, very well insulated, so soundproofing is very good in it, so that probably helps with the droning noise. That's 60 miles an hour, 7th gear, no drone. So this is with the valves closed. This is with the valves open. As you can see, there's a big difference. Also, when you have it in the different driving mode, so this is in Sport Plus, you get the overrun noise, hence the pops and bangs, as some people refer to it as. So we'll just close them again. And it's civil again. So yeah, you can cruise around with the family and be completely respectable, and then when you want to be a hooligan, you just push the exhaust button and you can be a hooligan. Let's do that again. I have to say the guys at Supersprint done an amazing job on this exhaust. It's really cool. What I will probably say is that this is like the loudest version when the valves open. I will probably go for at least a resonated section 1 myself, but I know some people will love just this hooligan mode. Really retains that V8 noise. It sounds great. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching the development. I'm really happy with the way Supersprint have developed and designed this exhaust. It makes good power, as you've seen from the V-Box and the dyno graphs, and it sounds absolutely amazing. With the valves closed, I really like that it retained the V8 sound. With the valves open, it's a bit too loud for my personal taste, but I know a lot of people will like it, because at the moment the valves open, as I've mentioned before, it's straight through, so it's ridiculously loud. But when Supersprint released the finished version, I have ordered a resonated section 1, which will quieten it down a little bit. The tailpipes are not branded as Supersprint ones at the moment because this is a prototype. They didn't have time to engrave, but we're going to stick with this style and design. We're hoping to have the first production exhaust available in the middle of March. So if you guys are interested, please drop us an email on sales@evolveautomotive.com or keep an eye on our blog for availability. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you'd like to watch more of this project, you can do so over here. If you'd like to watch what YouTube suggests you might like from our other videos, you can watch that over here. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comment section and we'll do our best to answer them for you.